So this is my book report for chapters 7, 8, and 9. The first question that I've been asked that I decided to answer is performance versus trust in chapter 7. And the question for that is explain the basics of Sneak's graph and content of this subject. Do you agree with Sneak's position that trust is more important than performance? Defend your answer. So performance is about technology composition and how good someone is at their job. Do they have the grit? Can they remain cool under pressure? And then trust, it is all about character, their humility and sense of personal accountability. And then I would most definitely prefer to have someone that is trustworthy and maybe doesn't perform as well at the end of the day. I would hate to have an employee who performs really well, but I can't trust them, cool, you can perform well, but if I don't trust you, then honestly your performance isn't gonna mean as much compared to someone who I can trust with pretty much anything. If I need them to give them my checking book, I can. If I need them to go on an errand for me, I can. I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel like trust is the most important thing when it comes to an employee or pretty much just anything in general. Let's say a sports team, for example, let's say you have your best player on the team can perform really well, but what if you can't trust them, what if you're the quarterback throwing to your wide receiver and you have a really good wide receiver, yeah, he can perform well, he's the best, but what if you can't trust him? Because what if, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's important for the quarterback and the wide receiver to have that trust at the end of the day to help the team win. So that's why I think trust is the most important thing. And then the second question that I have been asked, I decided to answer, is in chapter 8, is lazy leadership. Explain Sneak's concept of lazy leadership. Share an experience when you have been in an organization or a situation in which lazy leadership was in play. Explain how you would either A, work to avoid that as a leader, and B, help an organization overcome it. And then the concept that is explained about lazy leadership is when problems arise, performance lags, mistakes are made, or unethical decisions are uncovered. Lazy leadership chooses to put their efforts into building processes to fix the problems rather than building support for people. An example that I would say where I felt like there was lazy leadership is definitely my 4-H club, or also known as Junior Holsteins Club. The reason why I say that is because we had probably 50 people, I want to say, in our group, and we had really terrible leaders. They never really helped. They were just they were just in charge. They never really became leaders. There was this, we were going to this event for World Dairy Expo, and we had to study for a bunch of trivia questions, and every time we'd have a question on what was going on or stuff, they wouldn't answer it, or if we needed help studying, they weren't really there for us. They pretty much were just oh, just figure it out, just study on your own, you should know what to study. But it's it was my first time ever going, so obviously I'm not gonna know what to study, and so that definitely was rough. And we never really did build support for people either, and no one ever really tried to become a leader. I mean, I was only in it for a few years, and I was in it until my freshman year of high school. And so at that point, I don't know, I wasn't really good at being a leader yet because I hadn't really learned those skills or really needed to. And a way that I would avoid this as a leader is I would definitely make sure that everyone in the group felt comfortable talking to me. If anyone needed help, I'd make sure I was there for them. If they needed help studying, for example, my 4-H club, where people needed help studying for it, I'd make sure I was there for them, help them out any way I can. Maybe not necessarily be with them to study, but I'd give them the information that they did need to study, and I'd be look over this. If you look over this, everything will be good. We should do a good job. And I mean, frankly, it's kind of their fault that we ended up not winning any matches at World Dairy Expo for trivia, because frankly, we didn't know what to study, So it's how do you expect us to do well if you're not going to help us study, So And then the last question I decided to answer was in Chapter 9. And that question is, explain Schneek's concept of a worthy rival and why he feels it is so important. Do you or an organization that you have been associated with have a worthy rival? Explain how this relationship is used to your or your organization's advantage, and what have been the outcomes of having a worthy rival. This was definitely the most interesting thing to read for me and my favorite, because I am a huge fan of rivals. I definitely think at the end of the day it makes everyone better. And so to pretty much sum it up about what he said in the chapter is that unworthy rivals help us get better at what we do. What this means is in sports, there's going to be a team that you always are looking forward to playing each and every year, because you know that matchup is going to be very competitive and you don't want to lose to them at all. A great example of this, for starters, is the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I mean, it's such a big rival. I love when we play the Bears, because I know it's always going to be competitive. I know everyone's going to be fierce out there. And at the end of the day, I feel like both teams always make each other better, because both teams want to win. Neither of the teams want to ever lose to them. And then an organization that I've been associated with that have a worthy rival is definitely, I'd say, here at CUW men's tennis team. Our rival is Illinois Tech. They are always so tough each and every single year. They joined our conference, I want to say my junior year. So we've been playing them for the past 3 years now. So, I mean, I know some might say that's not really a rival, but to us, they are definitely our biggest rival right now, because, to be honest, our men's conference tennis is absolutely terrible. I mean, we pretty much beat everyone 9-0. And the thing is, a player like me who's playing 6 on our team this year, I could play 1 on any other team in the conference. That's how weak our conference is. And so when Illinois Tech, who used to be a former D2 school, came in to join our conference, we knew we'd finally have some competition and someone that would really make us work for it. In the past 3 years, they have. We sadly haven't beat them yet. We're 0-2 right now. This year, though, is definitely our best shot to beat them, because they just don't have as strong as a team, and frankly, they haven't played any matches yet. The only matches that their school is allowing them to play is conference-only matches, which is huge for us, because we've played 7 matches now, and we've played a lot of tough teams. We've had a lot of close matches, so we've really gotten that experience, and that's definitely going to give us the edge over them. Also, every year, that's our main goal. We could probably lose to every other single team. As long as we beat Illinois Tech in our conference, then that is what matters to us. And they make us so much better, because, I swear, we talk about it every single week, a few times a week, how we just got to keep working hard, just keep pushing ourselves so that we can beat Illinois Tech. So they are definitely our biggest rival for sure.